prevention. Error message is quite good to prevent the problem and eliminate error prone. So in the example, they have some type of the warning for inter-theoretical use only. So this one will inform the user before they commit to the action. Error prevention, somehow you can see the example from the locking mechanics from the bicycle stand. They have some double lock, so the bicycle is not accidentally moved. Similar to the preventing error between two modes, like the mode for photo and the mode for video. They have a lock, small lock here. So user may not accidentally paste using a photo or using a video. Recognition rather than recall. So we want to minimize the user memory load by making object action option visible. So user not need to remember everything. In the example, like if they have the logbook and ask you about the weight, you not need to remember how much the weight. From this one, they have another dialog box how to calculate the body mass index, and you can put that into that information. Not need to remember. Another recognition of rather than recall, like for example the card, ATM card. You can see that they put the graphic here, so user will put into the direct in the correct direction. Similar to the instruction for the checkout book. So tell 1, 2, 3, scan your library card. Tell it should be tell and visible how it works and easily to retrievable as well. Not need to memorize. The next one is about flexibility and efficiency of use. For this one, somehow the expert and novice or inexperienced user they have using different way. For example, the expert maybe use some of the shortcut key instead of clicking the menu, like F7 alternative click. The example can be seen from the mouse, like this one, straight up. For injection for expert may have a lot of button here. Novice maybe doesn't need to use, but expert could be used. And allow user to tailor frequency setting posture. You tailor, for example, if you have the car seat automatic posture adjustment, and they have preset and that you can lock the posture that you want, like number 1, 2, 3, and then when you paste, it's going to be in the position that you already did it. So it allows user to tailor what is the frequent action. Aesthetic and minimalist design. The lock should not contain information that is not relevant. For example, in the menu bar, maybe this one is about the network, maybe out of the icon over here. The example of the aesthetic and minimalist designs mean that you try to design as simple as much as possible. For example, you can see that the icon in all the way that on the menu on the iPad and the Samsung Galaxy or the Android, and they have different type of the way. For example, this one they have the icon in one control unit and have another part that showing maybe the preview in second part. So how you eliminate some information that maybe they not need to know. That's quite very important. Make it simple, easy to see. Help user recognize, diagnose and recover from the error. The error message should express in plain English, no code, and it should be precise, indicate the problem, like please check your date, like month, day, and year. This error inform really clear. Another example of recovery or the instruction, like this one is from the inkjet cartridge. So one explains how to install and the cartridge in plain English. And software inform the user precise when the paper jam, tell where the paper jam happened, to tell the location. And the menu suggests how to solve the paper jam, like pull the cartridge out, and then pull the paper out. Help and documentation. Even though the system have the can be easy to use, but without a documentation, maybe it's quite very dangerous somehow, because you need to provide some online manual or something that can easily to follow because the different type of the user maybe have different type of background, and focus on the user task list, consist step. Just one example. The graphic safety for the airplane cache is easy to follow, and they tell the concrete step from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Heuristic evaluation for universal design. This another example. Actually, this one from the design guideline, from the 7 principle, and all the guidelines like, for example, equality of use, flexibility in use, simple and intuitive. Some of the guidelines quite similar to the heuristic evaluation from Jacob Nielsen. This guideline made by the North Carolina State University. The example of the guideline, for example, equitable use design is useful and marketable to people with diverse ability. And the example of like automatic door that the handicap and the normal user can use. Flexibility in use design should accomplish the wide range of individual, like left-hand person or right-hand person can use this one. Simple and intuitive of use. For example, the design should easy to understand, that fit to the user experience and knowledge, language skill. For example, the manual without text description. Perceptible information. The design communicate the necessary information to the user, like the tactile knob for the aging people. Maybe the knob is bigger than the number one. Tolerance and error. Design minimize the hazard and adverse consequence of accidental and unintended action. So, for example, you design the undo button for the software when you make mistakes. Low physical effort. Design can be used to use efficiency. For example, you design the cantilever knob that you use less effort by hand. Size and space for approach and use, like the entrance of go to, for example, the BTS or the train. It should wide enough for the wheelchair to go in, and easy to, and the level it should be the same as the hand level. When you compare the 7 principles of universal design and the Nielsen heuristic evaluation, you can see that some of them is quite similar, like flexibility in use, flexibility and efficiency of use, simple and intuitive, aesthetic and minimalist design, perceptual information, visibility of the system status, tolerance for error, is error prevention, size and space for approach and use, user control and freedom, and maybe have other part that maybe not linked. I think that in the 7 principle of universal design, they're talking about on more economic, like low physical effort, or size of space. But in the Newton, most of them is quite related to the cognition or psychology, like in terms of visibility, in terms of consistency, recognition, memory, and health. So the summary of this lecture is that the heuristic evaluation method is used to find the disability problem, and Newton heuristic evaluation is specific to the inactive system, while the 7 principles of the universal design we could use as for the using their guideline to modify for disability heuristic as well. Thank you for watching today.